You're here because you want to get smart fast. So let's cut right to it.
Okay.
We've got a source today with a pretty intense title. Life is a fight. Either you hit first or you get hit.
Yeah, it definitely grabs your attention. Doesn't hold back.
Not at all. So our mission here is to dive deep into this core idea, this metaphor, and, what it really means according to the text.
We'll look at its arguments about life's challenges, why being proactive is apparently key.
And what happens if you're, well, not proactive, if you just wait,
Exactly. It all starts with a pretty stark statement right at the beginning.
which is,
Life is not fair. Life is not soft. Life is not your friend. That really sets the tone for everything that follows.
wow, okay. So no illusions about an easy path then. It's framing life as inherently tough from the get-go.
Precisely. It forces you to immediately consider, well, how you're going to engage with that reality.
And that leads straight into this split, this dichotomy it presents. You're either the one who swings first or...
You're the one who gets punched in the mouth. That's the phrase it uses.
Right. So what does that mean? Getting punched? Being reactive?
Yeah, basically living life on the defensive. Always reacting to things after they happen instead of making the first move.
The source mentions most people doing this.
It does. It pictures them as sitting on the ropes, waiting for a miracle. Hoping something external will just happen. Change things for them.
Waiting for motivation or permission, maybe.
Kind of, yeah. Waiting for something outside themselves.
But the contrast is sharp. It talks about winners
Yeah.
who go on the offense daily.
That's the proactive side. They're not waiting, they're initiating.
So what does that look like in practice? What are the examples of throwing the first punch?
Well, the text gives a few. Things like establishing a routine, waking up before the sun.
Okay, the discipline aspect.
Right. Or pushing yourself physically, like going to the gym even when it's hard, but also bigger things.
Like what?
Like launching ideas, sending that email you've been putting off, starting brands. It's about action.
Taking that first concrete step, basically.
Yeah.
Overcoming the inertia.
Exactly. Pushing past the fear or hesitation and just doing it, getting the ball rolling yourself.
That makes sense. And the text claims this approach gets results, right? It says, the world respects hitters.
It does. The logic presented is pretty straightforward, almost Darwinian.
How so?
It argues that if you hesitate, if you don't act on an opportunity or an idea,
Someone else will grab it.
essentially, yes. It says they won't think twice about taking what could have been yours. It paints a picture where initiative is rewarded.
It's a competitive view of things, definitely.
Very much so.
Now, this fight it talks about,
Yeah.
it's not just literal physical fighting.
Oh, no, the source broadens it out. It mentions mental fights, financial struggles.
And crucially, the internal battle. Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, that seems key. The fight against your own internal resistance. Laziness, temptation, fear.
The source has a line about that voice saying, sleep in.
Right. And the idea is you need to proactively fight that. Hitting that voice first is the phrase used. It's about self-mastery before external action.
So, winning the internal fight enables you to take the external swings.
That seems to be the argument, yes. Discipline yourself first.
And if you don't swing, if you don't fight that internal voice or take external action, what's the consequence then, according to this piece?
It's pretty bleak. The text is blunt. You stay stuck. You stay broke. You stay invisible.
Oof. So no safety net, no rescue party coming if you just wait.
Absolutely not. That's a core part of the message. You're responsible for generating your own momentum.
This ties into another powerful statement. This world doesn't owe you comfort. It doesn't owe you success. It owes you nothing.
Yeah, it directly confronts any sense of entitlement.
But then it follows up. It says the world does respond to certain things. What were they?
Force, focus, fire. That's the trio it highlights.
Force, focus, fire. What do you think that means? Consistent effort, intensity.
Probably all of the above, bringing sustained energy, clear direction, and, well, passion or intensity to what you do. The world might not owe you, but it seems to react to that kind of applied energy.
So it's not enough to just swing. You have to swing with intention.
With force, focus, and fire.
Yes. Okay, so bringing it all together, the source ends with a very direct call to action.
It does. Swing first. Speak up. Move fast. Build now. It's urgent.
And that final image, when the bell rings, you better be the one throwing the punch, leaves no doubt about the perspective.
None at all. The core takeaway is really about embracing proactivity as, well, almost a survival necessity.
Taking charge, taking initiative, not waiting to be acted upon.
Exactly. Swinging first in whatever arena you're in, rather than waiting passively for things to happen to or for you.
Okay, so a final thought for you listening. Reflect on this idea. Is there an area in your life where maybe you've been, waiting on the ropes?
Yeah, where have you been hesitant? And based on what we've just discussed from the source, what might it actually look like to throw the first punch there?
What's one small, concrete action you could take to initiate, to move from waiting to acting? Something to think about.